Okay, so we're gonna do a segment that
Okay.
I did with Brennan and Erica. That was a big hit. It's these personal questions. Do you know the game We're Not Really Strangers? Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's like this card thing, and this card game, and essentially like each section gets more and more personal.
Okay.
But anyways, I've collected a bunch of questions that are meant to like two strangers ask each other these questions, and you have to try and be as honest as you can. Um,
Okay.
it's cool. We don't have, if you're like, I'm not going to answer that,
I'm
that's fine.
excited. I'm
But
excited.
they're good. There's nothing too crazy or deep. But anyways,
Okay.
okay.
Cool.
The first one is, I know I'm in love when blank. Fill in the blank.
I know I'm in love when I can't stop smiling and I'm just smitten kitten.
Yeah. That's so
That
sweet.
makes sense.
Yeah, totally. You're like, oh, I'm so smitten. I'm so in
Like
love.
so smitten. Like couldn't be happier.
Yeah, they just make you feel great and smile all
Yeah.
the time. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
How are you really?
How am I really
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Like a 6 right now.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
terrible for 2020
It's
standards. I
terrible,
feel
but
like
it's not
you're doing great.
perfect. I'm like a 6.
Yeah,
Like
I
things
feel
could be
that.
better, but also they could be worse.
That's true. I like that.
You know?
I'm on the
Okay.
optimistic side. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
okay, this one's a little deep. Are you lying to yourself about anything?
I mean, probably. I'm definitely probably lying to myself about how I have everything figured out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, probably about that regard, like that I like know exactly what I'm doing with my life, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I
That's
don't know. Yeah, probably. I mean, I think we all to some degree like kind of lie to ourselves about some things, but I think the important things you know, like relationships or all those things definitely not, but like yeah, career-wise probably.
probably like, yeah, I'm probably lying to
You know
myself.
what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who's changed your life but doesn't know it?
Is there anyone who's changed my life but doesn't know it?
Yeah.
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 Do I have to say who?
You can if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, I say this all the time, like, and then my parents probably know this, but they've changed my life, but I just don't think they know how much they've changed my life,
Right.
how
Yeah.
much they continuously help me to change my life in a really good, positive way.
Right.
Because I feel like no matter how much we express to our parents what they do for us and how they have changed and helped us grow into who we are and how they have changed our lives in so many ways, they never fully will understand. And I probably won't fully understand that until I'm a parent too.
Right.
But yeah, in like the best way possible. I think my parents have always been helping me to change my life in a
Yeah.
great way.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet. I love that. What do you need right now more than anything?
What do I need right now more than anything? Probably another coffee.
Yep.
Um, um, yeah, I don't really need anything materialistic right now. I'm good, but I like I think a good answer would be like clarity on things, like what's happening, but also we're in a pandemic, so I don't think I could have that clarity. I don't think anyone can.
Right.
So for now, we'll just be content with where everything is.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
it. Clarity. I
Question
think
is
clarity.
great.
That's like the perfect broad stroke answer of like
Not sure
clarity.
answer. I'm not sure how to answer.
Yeah. Oh my God. When was the last time you felt lucky to be you?
When was the last time? Saturday.
Oh, whoa, that's so specific. What about Saturday?
Nothing. I just was hanging out with friends and I was just like, damn, I'm just so lucky to have these people in my life and to be healthy and to be happy
Yeah.
and to have a roof over our head. Like I just felt lucky in that moment of like being with friends that I've been friends with for so long, just my two friends. But yeah, I just felt lucky and in like a second I like went to the washroom and I was like, I just am so lucky to have this life.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
totally get that.
I feel like I have those moments like every so often, and you kind of have to like pull yourself back when you're upset about something because you're like, you know what, I'm really lucky, and there could be so many things worse, but
Yeah, that's true. That's a good outlook for sure.
yeah.
What do you need to accept today?
What do I need to accept? I think I just need to accept um, the uncertainty, and I need to accept that with change comes consequences and time and effort. Because I was thinking about working out and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel like it. But then I'm like, I need to accept the fact that if I want to change or if I want to be healthier or whatever it is,
Mhm.
I have to accept change and I have to just do it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, the time
like a
and
Nike commercial, just do it.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just need to accept that if I want change, I have to be consistent,
Hmm. I like
right?
that. Yeah, that's true. What's the most valuable lesson your mother has taught you thus far?
Whew.
I
Oh my
know this one's hard
God,
because
it's
you have to
hard.
take just one thing.
Um, um, I think probably just to like protect my energy around certain people and places, and yeah, just to protect my heart and my soul, because I feel like I can be very giving and very and like always see the better in people, and when they might not necessarily need that from me, but to always just protect myself and put myself first
Right.
to be like the best person that I can be. Um, yeah, because I've been put in situations where like I feel like the only person that's giving me that strong advice to just maybe take a step back from the situation to protect my own feelings and emotions. Um, my mom has given me that advice, so I think, but there's a lot of other things, but more recently probably just to protect my energy and to
I like that.
yeah, because I feel like people can suck the energy out of me really easily because I take on other people's emotions, and you have to like take a step back and be like, whoa, I'm not necessarily feeling that, but I'm feeling that because they've put that onto me. So I
Right.
think,
Like to remove yourself. Like this may be this person's journey and what they're going through. But
yeah, but it's not necessarily mine. And like, it's not my responsibility to
yeah,
unpack whatever they're feeling. Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's fantastic advice.
Right.
Um, what are you still trying to prove to yourself?
What am I still trying to prove to myself? I'm still
Yeah.
trying to prove to myself that like I can fucking do this. Like I'm great. Like I'm still just trying to prove to myself that I'm really something special, like I really am. And like I'm always trying to like tell myself that like I got this. Like I'm just trying to prove to myself that it'll all work out, I guess.
No, yeah, I feel the same way. I'm trying to prove to myself I can actually act. I'm trying to prove to myself I
Yeah.
can write, maybe. Yeah, like all these things.
All these things that just like add up in my mind. I'm like, I'm just trying to prove to myself that am proud of you, that I am successful, that I have all these successes behind me, and that I can only go up from here, I guess.
Right. Love that. Ooh, lovely self talk.
I'm pulling out all these answers today.
Yeah,
I'm like,
damn, just whipping it out. What have you been taking for granted lately?
uh, I mean, there's a lot, but probably my health, there's so many people hurting right now around the world. And like, I don't want to get too deep with it, but definitely been taking for granted that I have my health and that, no one around me necessarily has COVID, or, I mean, knock on wood, but
Yeah.
that I'm healthy, and I think right now more than anything, that is something that we all need to focus on. If we are healthy and if we are happy and if we do have, money in our bank account, that we're taking that for granted for sure, because there's so many people hurting right now in many ways, not just even about COVID, about other issues that are going on in our world. And I'm definitely taken for granted how blessed I am.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. Is there a feeling you miss?
Is there a feeling I miss? Oh man, I just like I miss, like, this will be on the topic of like just acting and dancing and stuff. I miss being on stage like so much. I just like miss that energy of just feeling that room full of love and appreciation. Just like, yeah, I just miss that feeling so much. Like I miss just being
Like,
around people.
yeah, like the reward of you put in
Yeah,
work work for something and then you get that reward finally.
Yeah.
There's
I
like,
miss that so much.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I feel that too, because like as actors you audition all the time and then you don't
Yeah.
get that reward ever.
And like, yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna like pour my whole heart and soul into this and then like probably see nothing out of it, but then maybe see something, like you're like, you put everything on the line for your like life and your career. So definitely I miss like that feeling of just that energy.
Yeah, the performing. I miss that too, actually. Damn.
I know.
What would your younger self not believe about your life today?
My younger self would not believe how like independent I am, because I felt like I've always known that I'm a very independent person, but I really didn't prove that to myself until I like moved to LA and like started doing all of these things by myself and just really holding it down in a way that I never ever thought I would be able to do. Yeah, my younger self would definitely be like, wow, like that's awesome. But yeah, just how actually I'm able to do a lot of things on my own and be okay with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that like my independence is really something that's taking me by surprise. And like I feel like I don't give myself enough credit for that because it's something that I just feel like I've always just been like, yeah, I can do it, I can do it, and I can do it. And then I just do it. And then it's like, cool. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. This one's a good question. We can both answer this.
Okay.
So, what was your first impression of me?
What was my first impression of?
Because we actually met
We did meet.
so random in like a sauna for like the
Yes!
competition.
Dance competition, yes. I literally remember, and then I remember when we were all at dinner, I think that was like my first impression of you was just that like, well, I obviously I thought I was your age. Like I thought not your age, sorry. I thought we were the same age.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, oh my God, no, she's older than me. And also she's just so cute, number one. Number two, such a great dancer. And you just had like a good like personality about you that I just like wanted to know more about you, I don't know what it was, but I just remember it was a long time ago, but I just remember being like, oh, I want to be friends with her.
That's really sweet.
And then like fast forward a couple of years, we're actually like working together and become great friends. So it's just crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Because when I first met you, I thought she's gorgeous. And then I thought like she's super nice and really kind to people. Like that I really liked because like
Yeah.
it seemed very much like you were friends with everyone and like that was a really cool energy to be around because I was like because we had gone to the sister studios for anyone watching.
Yes. Yeah.
There was Joanne Chapman School of Dance. It was Joanne Chapman School of Dance, Bolton,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the Brampton one. And
Yeah.
I was the Brampton one, you were at the Bolton one, and we competed at the same comp. So we were kind of like sister studios.
Yeah, we were like always together and stuff. Yeah, I remember being like, oh, like I wish like we were in dance together. Like I wish that a lot of the people that I was friends with from your studio, I wish we were like all dancing together because it would have been so fun. But then, yeah, fast forward a couple years, we ended up just working together for now like 10 years. So it's just crazy.
It's so weird. When we did season 1, was there any point where you thought, oh, we're going to be doing this for a while?
Honestly, like I'm trying to think back. I remember being like, okay, this is really cool and we'll see where all of it goes. But I think all of the encouragement from Frank and everybody else on set and Amy and everything was really promising. So I feel like I did have like a glimmer of like, wow, this could go places, but it was early days, so I wasn't sure. But I remember wrapping season 1 and just praying that it would go on for a while because I was just like, this is just so awesome and so fun and this could be life changing. And then I think once the show premiered, I was like, oh wow, like this is like a really big deal. Like I had no idea what we were even like up to. It's just a whirlwind. And then yeah, once the show premiered, I was like, okay, it's all just happening day after day after day. This could be something really big. So I definitely did have that like hope. What about you?
I feel kind of the same way. I think a part of me was like, I don't know. Like I was always, I think, and I was like, I don't really know what that would look like what it would look like for it to be successful. Like I was just having fun filming it at the time. And so I thought if we can do this again, great. But like, it wasn't until like comp season hit, when like the show dropped and then we were in competitions and people would like swarm us and ask for photos, that I was like, oh no, this is like a real thing. Like people are actually really invested in this and like super attached to these characters and the show already. Like, and then at that point is when I was like, okay, so this is something I can definitely do for a long time.
Yeah.
But before that, I don't think I was. I think I was very much like, I don't know, this is fun right now, but who knows? And yeah. That's so interesting. Okay, so we have more questions.
Okay.
What title would you give this chapter in your life?
I would give this title Transitions. I feel like I'm like in a transitional period between my career, my life, my, where I'm living and everything. It's just, I'm in like a transitional period to whatever is next. I feel like it's all kind of a transition, but I feel like I'm like settled, but like not,
Right.
So yeah, transitional period for sure.
I like that. I can concur on that. What's the worst assumption someone has made about you?
I mean, I've had a couple. Worst assumption was that I was a liar. I remember someone was like, yeah, you peg me as someone who is like a liar. And I'm like, what? That's a really weird thing to peg someone as, but sure. And then I've gotten this a couple times, and it's made me really uncomfortable when someone has come up to me and said, oh, well, you're actually way prettier in person, which is a weird assumption to make off of someone that you see on TV. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's like a backhanded compliment. That's strange. So I'm like, that's a really strange first impression or like a assumption about me. But okay, it's one of those compliments where you're like, how do I take that?
Yeah, like thanks.
Yeah, thank you, but like also kind of rude. Thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. There's been a couple, like liar or that I'm like deceitful kind of thing. I don't know, maybe just because like, but that's just someone that didn't know me. So
yeah, to me that's stupid, because if I don't know you, like they always say the best way to establish any relationship, whether it be professional or whatever, friendship, that is to like give trust to that person until they break it, until they prove you wrong.
Totally.
Then like, okay, yeah, then you're a liar and then you're not trustworthy. But like give that trust first. Otherwise you're gonna think everyone's a liar. Like
totally. I'm like, but then, there is an element to my job that I do have to lie for a living as an actor. So I'm like, you can call me a liar, sure.
All right.
Great, thank you. It's what I do for a living, so it's great.
Yeah. Oh god.
Whatever.
Okay. This one, well, we can ask this one. What about me is most strange or unfamiliar to you?
What about you is most strange?
This is a question that you're supposed to ask a stranger, so it makes sense. But like, we've known each other for years, so like,
I know. I'm like,
was there something that was strange or unfamiliar?
I think once we both were coming into ourselves and like, we were kind of living together, it was like your sense of style. Cause I feel like your sense of style changed like broadly, like over the course of a summer. And I was like, okay, that might be something that was strange to me at that time because I didn't know you in that way of like dressing like that or, like having different things that you're into. At that time though, but now I know you really well. So I'm like, that's your style, about how you dress or do your makeup or, what accessories you wear,
Yeah. Like that's interesting actually. Yeah. Cause I feel like your style has been very much like a progression through.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of just tried different shit at one point.
Yeah, totally. Like you definitely were like, okay, I'm going to try this or I want to do this or, I want to cut my hair like this or, like I feel like you've just tried a lot of different things. And maybe for someone that like, cause I've known you for so long and I've known you since we were so young that you really like grew into what you were figuring out what you were actually into. Yeah. And that was like a different, I think for me as like your friend to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, that's dope,
experimenting. Yeah, you got to see my experimenting phase.
Yes, totally.
No one's ever said that to me before.
That's really?
No, because like, I mean, they'll say like, oh yeah, you wear stuff like this, but like, no one's ever found that like, yeah, like you couldn't really pinpoint what my style was because I didn't even know.
Right. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Cool. I love that.
I don't know. I just love like that element to people of always being like, oh, this is how they dress or this is the way they talk. You know, it's interesting because everybody has their own thing.
That's
so
true. Oh, I definitely talked differently.
Yeah, for sure.
Weird. It also had to do with like the people we were around all the time.
Totally. And the energy
Like
that we
our
were like,
own lingo.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh gosh. Okay. Um. What is my defining characteristic? And then what's yours? So like you can do it for me, and then we can do it for you as well.
Defining characteristic in like what way?
Like
one word to describe you kind of thing, or?
Yeah, let's try that. Maybe. I don't know. I know. I'm gonna think for you too, because I mean, it's hard to pinpoint just one thing because you're a person. Like you have all these different layers, you know.
Yeah.
But for you, I feel like I don't want to say just independent because I'm not. I don't just want to pin you down to that one thing. But like, I feel like you're someone who knows what she needs for herself.
Yeah.
You know, you've always been that person to be like, I need this. This is what I need, and I'm happy with that. Like, as much as you said like, you know, you were worried about what other people thought of you sometimes. I never got that from you. I always felt like you were sure of yourself.
That's good.
Yeah, like you always knew what you needed for yourself, how you wanted to present yourself in any setting, and you were like, this is just me. This is who I am, and like, yeah, I feel like I've always felt that way about you.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment. I really no, I really appreciate that. I was gonna say creative for you, but that's such a broad thing. But I just feel like creative in the regard of you're always finding ways to do something new that's gonna inspire yourself or other people, whether that be YouTube or mini series or reading different books that are gonna, you know, really send those creative juices to flow in your mind, or writing scripts. Like I feel like you've always had that like creative side to you that's kind of, you know, gotten you to where you are today, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, even like me knowing you for so long and you always being, you know, the smaller girl, or, you know, the girl who looked a little younger, I feel like that always worked for you because you found creative ways to be like, yeah, but this is just who I am and this is why I am like this. Or, you know, even with you going through your health stuff, I just found that you always had such a creative, positive outlook on ways to handle that and to get through it, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's really sweet. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Because I'm like, I feel like creatives, I mean, we're all creative in our own way, but I just always feel like you've had great, like inspiring ways of being creative towards certain situations, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Damn, making me feel so good.
I know, I'm like, you're making me feel so good.
Okay, last question. In a word, one word, how would you describe this conversation?
In one word, I would just say necessary. I feel like you and I have both like grown on the same page, but also to our own paths. And I just feel like it's just been so necessary to reconnect and to, you know, even talk about the next step, because I'm sure it's something that everybody who, you know, follows us like wants to know about. And I just feel like it's just been so, needed and necessary for us to like have this, you know, connection for sure. Especially during a year like this where, you know, nothing is like certain and we're not going to like all get together and see each other and, you know, be in each other's presence. It's just been like really necessary for me to chat with you on these things.
I love that. I agree. It was a necessary conversation. It was so great to like just reconnect and like you said, reminisce, but because we're different now, it's in a new perspective. Okay, well, that's everything. Thanks so much for coming on and chatting.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
So fun. I feel like inspired to take on the rest of my day.
Yes, hell yeah, me too.